How you doing, everyone? Here we are. We just arrived at Lugnut's den. I got Randy crossing once again. My name's Burt Goodman, and Randy, tell us just a little bit about Lugnut here.
Well, she's 8 years old. She was born to one of our research bears right close by here, and she's given birth to cubs, but she weighed 154 last year in the den. On March 25th, we handled her last year. So, as big as that, we would expect she would have got pregnant last spring and should have cubs in the den this year.
So we'll go in and check out Lugnut, and we'll get with you later.
It's still pretty cold, so I think we can load when we're just, I think I recognize everything as we go in, but we're just back 60 yards or so.
Okay, guys, great job with the bear den there. This looks like it was a tough one to get to. He's way in there, huh?
Yeah, it's quite a ways around the corner. Yeah. She's got a deep nest, so she's kind of hiding down in that a little bit most of the time. And she's facing towards us, which makes a hard angle to get the angle of the needle into the shoulder or the neck is what we're trying for.
Yeah, I noticed, Randy, you had your hand right on the back of Lisa's coat ready to tug her out of there as soon as she started getting tugged in there.
Yeah, it's mostly just make her feel better that she's going to come out quick,
Lisa, what did you think of that?
It was pretty exciting, yeah. It was uncertain there for a while whether or not she was really down, but it turns out that the drug actually took effect on her first attempt, so.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent job, guys.
She was getting pretty groggy.
But I had to get in there a little further than I probably want.
If you got in that far when she was wide awake,
that would have been
she would have been
scary.
jaw-popping and been a little more aggressive, probably jump at
She's not going anywhere now, so.
No, she's good now.
Well, great job.
How you doing, everybody? I'm here with Lisa Bates, and Lisa was just in the den. Lugnut's in there all snuggled in. They're going to leave her in there. And Lisa, what'd you just do with the collar there?
Well, I took her old collar off and replaced it with a new collar. I pulled her from the back of the den where she was when we tranquilized her, and I pulled her closer so I could work on her and have some room to work. And so I just checked her body conditions, and we saw that she's pregnant. Her mammae are swollen. And checked her ear tags, her tattoo. She's breathing good. So we placed her collar. We're not going to take her out. because we're trying to get this whole thing situated, and it's gonna be a
wonderful.
little bit too much work. But I'm gonna.
I tell you what I'd like you to do. Explain to the people what a bear den's like when you get in there.
It's pretty tight and it's warm and cozy, but sometimes it's a little bit too tight. So if you have any claustrophobic issues, it's...
And the scent, can you explain the scent?
Oh, well, her den smells, she lined her bed with leaves, and so it just smells like dirt and leaves, but sometimes they line their bed with spruce and fir boughs, and they smell like the earth. They smell really good, and it's really warm in there.
Wow. It's quite an experience to go in all these dens, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did a great job.
I know.
Let's take a look at this guy here. What do we got here for the camera?
Okay, so you're gonna look in and it's a tight opening, but then it opens up and it has a tall ceiling. But back here, it doesn't go in. If you want to slide in on your back, it's going to seem like you can't get in. If you put your arms first, straight up, hold the flashlight, your arms first. You might even have to take off your Carhartt.
Wow, this is amazing.
And slide all the way in there, and she's down good and not going to go anywhere. Yep, there you go. And you'll see back towards the door, over to the right, there's a kind of a little pocket.
Oh, that'd be ideal.
See where she is right now? I think that's her nest. She can go back further, but I think that she planned on hanging out right in the center of the den where she is right now. So you can put it on the ground, but then the outside rim of the nest, the bowl of the nest would you'd have to prop the, I think you want to hang it high and point it low.
Okay, everybody. Good job, Randy.
Wow,
That was a tough setup here. We got the camera in, we got audio in, we got all set up. She's still in there sleeping like a baby. What do you think of the setup?
I love it. It's a nice looking den for this, what we're trying to do, I think. I hope she stays.
I hope so too. Well, good job, everybody. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Mooney. John behind the camera. Appreciate all your help. Right on. Okay, we are at our third site, and it is January 11th, and we just put our camera up in the bear called Lugnut. And I got to tell you, I dig that name Lugnut. I can't get it out of my head. And a couple different things between this site and the other ones is that we are about a quarter-mile away. Our setup, which is over right behind Bert there, and they're working on it, is now about a quarter of a mile away. And Randy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Lugnut?
Lugnut is a young bear, 8 years old, which is just getting into prime age.
Now, our first site, we were 168 feet off the den. The second site, we were 285 feet off the den. Now we're a quarter mile off the den. It's the sensitivity, we think, that was throwing us off.
Yeah, these bears are very sensitive to human disturbance. They're wild bears. They're not accustomed to people out here near their dens at all, because right now we're standing here and there's probably nobody within 10 miles of us at the moment. There are people out here working in the forest, but they're not cutting in this area. We would hear them if they were within 2 or 3 miles.
Now, I just want to get this point across. Typically, Randy, you would go and you would visit this den and you would be there for how long?
Usually takes us about a half an hour to 50 minutes, depending on how many bears are in the den most of the time. But yeah, about 45-minute average probably.
So these bears that we're going after, there's basically, they're in human contact for about 45 minutes a year. And I wanted to stress that because these are 100% wild animals, and you know, it's not like you can go out and get a book and read how to do that. We're trying to write the book right now as we go, but I think this is we're going to have it, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, Randy, once again.
It's going to take.
Thank you very much, and once again, without your support, we can't make this happen. Thank you. Now, one of the things with the other two bear dens, of course, they left their site, and from what Randy was telling me, that's not uncommon. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they leave their den sites for a number of different reasons. And of course, in this case, I think it was, you know, our disturbance in the power station, obviously. But it's very common for bears to leave their den site because of lumber operations or flooding. If we have a big thaw in the middle of winter and water comes into the den, it's very common for them to get up and move to another place. And sometimes they even do that with cubs and take the cubs with them.
Now, you've already located by air Nell again. Is that
Yes,
right?
Yes, yeah.
And now what we want to do is that in a couple weeks from now, or maybe in March, when Randy revisits those sites, we're going to go back to Nell and Spunky's site, and we'll be able to take a look at their cubs.
Yeah, and I think we'll plan on bringing the camera, and everyone can see those two bears again and see how many cubs they have, and it'll be quite an interesting show.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Excellent.